So, by now, you've probably heard Meghan Trainor's All About That Bass. This isn't a musical autopsy because A, I can't be bothered to get the clips, B, I don't feel like risking the copyright strike, C, I need to leave some contenders available for the worst songs of 2014, and D, this isn't about the song, it's about a bigger trend overall, pun somewhat intended. Meghan Trainor's All About That Bass is meant to be this big girl anthem, telling larger women to be proud of their size and who they are. That's what it's meant to be. If it was, that's fine, that's great. People should be proud of who they are. For the most part. I mean, if you're a serial rapist or you touch children, you shouldn't be proud of who you are. You're garbage that should be sent to the incinerator. But it's a fine message for the kids. It's a somewhat nonsensical, feel-good message that encourages people to not really strive to improve themselves in any way, but that's society now, so fine. That's great. Except, the song is kinda hypocritical in a lot of ways. First, she calls girls who are thin skinny bitches and silicone stick figure Barbie dolls. So I guess if you're skinny, whether naturally or because you work to be that way, you shouldn't be proud of that because you're fake. You're silicone. You're not real like these big girls, they're real. People have defended the skinny bitches line because she says, "Nah, I'm just playing, I know you think you're fat," after it. Then gives everyone a verbal participation ribbon by saying, "Every inch of you is perfect from the bottom to the top." So it's fine if you're skinny, but you think you're fat. You know what doesn't annoy heavier people at all? When skinny people complain about how heavy they are. They love it. If you're a girl who's between 5'2" and 5'6" and 100 to 125 pounds, go tell your fat friends that you're having a fat day if you want to get hole punched. Also, everyone's perfect. Everyone. The definition of perfect is having all of the required or desirable elements, qualities, or characteristics, as good as it is possible to be. The very definition of perfection suggests that this isn't true. Not everyone is perfect. Are you as good as it is possible to be, whether you are fat or skinny? I believe that perfection is pretty well unobtainable as a person, no matter what size you are. We can always be better. Physically, intellectually, emotionally, we can always improve. But that's not the millennial way of thinking. Instead, despite everyone being different, we're all perfect just the way we are. No need to get better. There are also a couple lines like this. Boys like a little more booty to hold at night. And I got that boom boom that all the boys chase and all the right junk in all the right places. So again, it's this idea that bigger is better, that you girls without a booty, guys don't like you. You're skinny and gross. You don't have junk in the right places, and so boys don't find you desirable. If these people were truly proud of themselves, they wouldn't have to say these types of things. They wouldn't have to tear down someone else to make themselves feel better. You're not proud, you're insecure. And that's fine, I don't blame you for that at all. You have every right to be. The media has not been kind to you. Almost every obese character on TV is a walking punchline. Magazines, billboards, and TV commercials don't feature people with your body type, not even in fast food commercials or for couches. Every month's Playboy centerfold doesn't shop at plus-size stores. So, I get why a song like this seems necessary to some people. They feel this balances things out. But I don't remember ever hearing pop singers doing songs about how being skinny is better. They're just skinny because they know that's what'll get drooling idiots to part with their money. And despite the belief that it was ever different, this is how it's always been. Maybe you've seen that meme that's been around for a few years, the "since when is this hotter than this" meme. And it shows girls like Keira Knightley and Heidi Klum stacked up against Betty Page and Marilyn Monroe. I believe I mentioned this in my obesity rant, but Betty Page and Marilyn Monroe were never plus-sized or fat. That is just nonsense. In fact, Betty Page, who bigger girls love to bring up as their idol, wouldn't make public appearances in her later years because she felt she was fat. She hated it. And if she knew she was some kind of poster girl for fat acceptance, she'd probably rise from the dead to smash you in the face with a greasy old bucket of chicken. She wasn't one of you. She wasn't proud of who she was. She was proud of who she was when she was a sex symbol. And I honestly believe that, had our knowledge of nutrition, exercise, and supplements been the same then as it is now, Marilyn Monroe and all those sex symbols of the 50s and 60s that you think are so great and so fat would have been much skinnier. Look at everyone who was a sex symbol back then, male or female. Look at James Bond, for example. Sean Connery in the 60s has nothing on Daniel Craig's physique. But if they had known what we know now, he would have made himself look like that, or he wouldn't have got the part. Yeah, but why? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. It's a chicken and the egg scenario. Does marketing use skinny girls and ripped guys because that's what we find appealing? Or do we find it appealing because that's who they use? If every beer commercial showed normal uggos like the rest of us, would they sell as much beer? If every singer looked like you, would they sell more albums? If action stars were either 140 pounds or 230 pounds with no muscle, and the girl they were saving was 5'4" and 170, would people go to see those movies? I'm guessing not. I think it's a little of both. They do it because we want it, and we want it because they do it. But we don't really want to see ourselves when we turn on the TV. We can look in the mirror for that. We can hang out with our equally boring, unfunny, uninteresting, unattractive friends. We want something better from entertainment. Why would I buy a new product that's not going to make me feel cooler, or sexier, or improved in some way? I'll just use the shit I got. Why do I want to watch a TV show or a movie with a guy like me in it? I'm stuck with me 24 hours a day. But I've strayed a little from my original point, which was that regardless of what you look like, don't claim that you're proud of it and then tear other people apart that are different than you. This Meghan Trainor song and other recent trends like this are just trying to make fat seem like the new thin. It's not about balance, it's about being better. Trying to convince men that fat girls are who they really want, which is fine, but a little hypocritical if the idea is to fight the perceived media brainwashing by doing your own brainwashing. And this ridiculous idea that everyone is perfect. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but physically, we're not all perfect. In fact, no one, skinny, fat, somewhere in between, no one likes themselves. We're all shitty and imperfect compared to models, movie stars, and pop singers whose entire job is to be attractive enough that you'll spend more money on shit you don't need. Let that unite you, instead of spending so much energy trying to convince yourself and others that you're actually what the world wants. Because you're not. Sorry.